Welcome back, lads and ladettes, to episode 48. So 48, this was a tough one. This was a tough one to figure out who we were going to name the episode after. Philly originally said Danny Briere.
Yeah, it was like the first one that came to my mind.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
well,
then we thought.
to hear who McGee brought up to me because it's a showstopper.
It is a showstopper. So I thought to myself, who else wore number 48? And then the second player that came to my mind.
What
after
league is
Danny
it?
Briere,
What league is it?
Just
NHL?
any. No, just
The
any.
OMHA.
Ever.
OMHA? I know who it is. Can I guess?
Yes.
Kent Nakamichi.
Yeah, that's right, man. Episode 48, the
Legend.
Knack.
Yeah. So as soon as McGee says it to me, I'm thinking like, yeah, we got to do that. We got to do that. And then light bulb goes off. I'm like, wait a minute, McGee. So McGee, give a little talk here, so like we don't have too much awkward silence. But
Okay. Yeah, so Philly's taking off his AirPods. He's putting them on his desk. He's taking his tarp off. Holy fuck, it's the most chiseled guy I've ever seen. And he's putting on Kent Nakamichi's jersey, number 48. And it's autographed. The front of it is autographed by Nak himself.
yeah. So like I was saying to McGee, we had in first year midget, the Waxers, we had our own room. And like whenever we'd go away for a little bit, sometimes other teams would use it. So we went away on the Calgary trip and we were gone for like 2 weeks or a week and a half, whatever it was. We come back and in my stall hanging up is an autographed Kent Nakamichi jersey. So I've taken that thing with me everywhere. Like I brought it. So I got that thing when I was in grade 11. It's been hanging in my closet all of grade 12. I brought it to London with me. It was in my closet in first year. It was in my house in second year, like hanging up and stuff. So this thing will be with me forever, man. Honestly, like legendary jersey. The
Should be hanging in the
jersey.
rafters.
It should be hanging in the rafters.
of Milliken Mills.
It
Milliken
should-
Mills Arena.
It should
Right in the
be, man.
McDonald's.
Yeah, but yeah, then episode 48, the Knack app.
Not
So
bad.
yeah, not bad. But anyways, so last episode we had what did we call it, OC? Oh, I called it the replacement. And then after I
Yeah.
published it, you texted
Fill-in
me.
guy.
Fill-in guy. We should have called it fill-in guy. OC is the designated fill-in guy. So
Yeah.
OC stepped up big time, came in clutch, and helped co-host episode 47, last episode. And McGee, like, what is your review? How do you think he did as co-host of Lads and Lawnchairs?
Dude, I think the podcasting game is a lot like riding a bike. Once you learn, you never forget. There's a place behind the Lads and Lawnchairs mics for you whenever you want it. So, OC, great job, one. But get this. I come up to Waterloo my first day of moving in. So I moved in, Wi-Fi guys. But, well, originally, the current tenants were like, yeah, we'll leave our Wi-Fi there until the 31st. We'll have it removed after you guys get moved in. And then our Wi-Fi guy was supposed to come September 1st. So we got there, Wi-Fi's out when they just snaked us and moved their Wi-Fi. So we have 2 days without Wi-Fi. We're like, fuck, Philly, I can't do the episode. No Wi-Fi. Then next thing you know, the Wi-Fi guy comes on the morning of the 1st and says, oh, there's damage to like your cable box on the side of your house. So we got to send a cable guy out first before we can send the bell guy to come and install our Wi-Fi. And I'm like, oh, how long is that going to take? He's, I don't know, probably like 1 to 2 days. So I get back in today. I'm like, so? Any news? He goes, yeah, probably 1 to 2 days. And that's for just to get the cable repair box fixed. And then it's another 1 to 2 days after that until the bell guy comes and actually does the Wi-Fi hookup. So I'm like sitting here like for a week without a week and a bit without Wi-Fi. Let me tell you, like I'm hot spotting on my phone right now, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Like,
And we just have interviews lined up out the wazoo too.
I know. This was a bad week to choose to line up interviews, let me tell you.
So what are you doing to keep busy?
Man,
What are you doing to keep busy besides drinking?
Well, thankfully, I'm a member of Laurier's orientation team, so I'm participating in some O-week events, which is keeping me busy.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, if I wasn't doing that, who knows what I'd be doing.
Yeah, no Netflix, no nothing.
Nothing. As far as a Roku, my little Roku device.
A little Monopoly deal.
Yeah, strictly board games for us in this house.
Yeah.
Okay, so like a little recap of last episode. It actually ties in perfectly that this is the Kent Nakamichi episode. Ken texted me after actually and said, because we always know when we do like the Master Debaters stuff or we bring up a list, people are going to message us and say like, hey, you forgot this. So for the most part, I think we pretty much had it down. I did get a couple reviews. So first off, apparently yam is a potato. OC.
Oh,
so
dude,
yo,
I didn't know
you went
that.
up my neck there.
I
should have Googled it.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. Like yam, it's not a potato, it's a yam. But no, apparently a yam is a potato.
Yeah,
That still could be wrong. Like we don't do that much research here. Like we're just going off the dome.
Check it?
Yeah, maybe give it a fact check for us right now. But apparently, first of all, yam is a potato. So whoops, apologies to all the yam fans. That's our bad. Second of all, Kent messaged me and said, what were you thinking? You guys forgot potato skins. And potato skins are a good call, man. That was a mess up on our behalf. Potato skins should have been mentioned. They should have been thrown in the list. So, yo, shout out Kent. Like, you're getting too many shout outs this episode. But
I can confirm that yam is a potato.
Nice.
So yeah, we had an unnecessary argument there. Could have rolled with it.
Yeah, way she goes.
Yeah, that's news to me. I had no idea yam was a potato. Yeah. So
this is an educational, informative podcast here. So there we go.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so then also on the recap topic here, on the last episode, you said that you and Anger were going to be playing a golf match to determine who drives for our trip that we're taking this weekend. And like a little spoiler, we're doing this on a Wednesday right now because the trip is taking place. Take full responsibility for that. I apologize to McGee. I was like, hey man, listen, can't record, can't edit this weekend. Can we record the episode? Can we record the episode a little bit earlier? He said, yep. So here we are, Wednesday night. We're recording this. But today was the match. Today you faced off against Anger to determine who drives on our trip. OC, take us through the match. How did it go? Because I said I was so confident. I had my money on you. I said you were going to take it home. What happened? How did it go?
Yeah, well, we'll go through a little breakdown. I started off hot. The front nine was definitely better than the back for me. We kind of flipped nines. Like I played better on the front and Ang played better on the back. No spoilers though. So I parred the first couple. I think I was like, basically I was one up. Or no, we were all square after four. So I went one up. Anger got one back. And then trying to play the holes. Yeah, we both parred five. And then five was a par five. So we pretty much went like all square for the first six. And then so seven, it's a long par five, a little dog leg. We both smoke driver, just pound it. And like, we can't hit that any better. And then we both just pull out our 4 irons. We're like 220. And then 4 iron hit the green. We're right at the front. And it's a back pin. So we probably got about 60 feet each for our eagle putts.
Okay.
We both just come up like 15 feet short each. And we're like, oh shit. So then I take my birdie putt, knock it way by. And then anyways, I have to make like a 4-foot slider for par to save. And then Anger ends up 4-jacking it. And this guy's just having like one of his Anger meltdowns where he's like 4 putts and he just like throws his ball. Oh, it's too good. So then I end up going one up off that. And then we both par 8. So I'm sitting at like 2 over, feeling good, hitting it well.
Yeah.
No, sitting at 3 over, feeling good, hitting it well, which was like I was 3 over after 4. So I basically ended up like parring the next 4 holes.
Right.
And then I hit the green in 2 on 9, roll like a 20-foot birdie putt, just drops in. So I end up going 2 up after 9. That's when I texted you. I was like, update, 2 up after 9, feeling good, shot 37 on the front.
Yeah, so I get the text from OC. He says 2 up after 9. I'm pumped. I'm like, here we go. I said on the pod, like, money's on OC. This guy's got it in the bag. Like, there's no doubt about it. I'm so pumped. I'm reading this text. I'm like, he's got it. Like, this thing's on lockdown. So then what happens, OC?
Yeah. So anyways,
Well, how are you feeling after 9? You thinking you got this in the bag, or like you think Ang might have?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good. Anytime you have a 2-up lead after 9, I mean, you're feeling pretty good. Obviously, it's like hockey, 2-goal lead, worst lead in hockey. 2-up lead, worst lead in golf, probably. Because you lose one, you're thinking, okay, whoa. And usually when you lose one, especially like when it's me and Anger, usually like you're losing because like one of us lost the ball, or like we hit a bad shot. So you kind of, it's all about like momentum swings in the match. And if you get up early, it's almost bad because you're just waiting for the other guy to get hot and come back. So regardless, the back 9 kind of start off, I made 3 straight pars in a row, and then 4 straight, par 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14, for whatever reason, I just snap hooked my drive in the other fairway. I'm like, oh no. And I was 3 up at this point. I had won another hole that Anger doubled. And then the comeback just starts. I double 3 of the next 4, and just making stupid mistakes. And then anyways, we end up, I'm 1 up after 16. Anger wins 17. We're even on 18. Even on 18, we both pump it's just like probably like a 420-yard par 4. I pump 4-iron down the middle. He pumps 4-iron as well, because there's like a creek in the middle about like 150 yards out. So we both had to lay up almost. I hit my approach to the middle of the green. This guy hits one over. I'm probably 160 out. Just hit it to the middle because of the tucked right back pin.
Yeah.
He's a bit closer. He's about 140 out. He sticks it to like 10 feet. I got like 40 feet for par or for birdie. He's got 10. So I could try to lag mine up there. I hit it to about 6 feet. He 2-putts. So basically where we are now is I got to make this 5-footer, 4-footer to extend the match. Just like hook it on the short side and miss. So Anger ends up winning on 18. So, and then as we're walking off 18, just dab him up. I'm like, fuck. And he just goes, man, I'll drive. It's fine. I'm like, like classic Anger. He's like, I'll drive. Just buy me some beers. And I was like, all right. Whatever.
That's perfect.
So but that's what we always do, man. We'll always play like a competitive match. And then by the end of it, like no money's exchanged. Nothing happens. It's just like, ends up being for the fun of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hilarious.
Well, that's a legendary move by Anger, honestly. He probably heard us call him out on Be Better a couple times now. Like, he knew he's up on the leaderboard. He needs to get a stroke back. He's like, damn, I'll just throw one out there. I'll drive.
I think he felt bad because I crumbled. But I did the same thing to him this summer. He was up 3 with 3 to play. Yeah. And I stormed back and won the last 3. And then I won in a playoff. So it's like the same thing. So
fair enough.
He definitely doesn't feel bad. He's just being a good guy.
Fair enough.
Thanks. Yeah, attaboy Anger. But that's it. That's how we decide things as men. Golf matches. No more rock paper scissors.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, OC, thank you. Thanks for coming on and updating us on how the match went. I'm sorry you couldn't win. Didn't get this one, but you know what? I have a feeling like you're probably up on him if you went back and looked at the matches over the summer. Like you've probably got him beat. I know there's a couple more coming, so
it's pretty close.
On you.
It's pretty close. We're about the same handicap, so
fair enough.
Close.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on and updating us, and again, thanks for helping host last episode. It's been a pleasure to chat with you, and
it's good to have you back. It's great to have you back in your natural element as a lawn chair.
McGee. I'm gonna pass the torch back to you, I guess, as a host. I'm out for now. Maybe I'll be back.
Enjoy your trip this weekend, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers. All right, OC. Thanks, brother.
All right, boys. Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right, what an absolute pleasure to be able to have OC come on and give us like a little recap there. I was so like panicked when you texted me last week and you were like, yo, I don't know if I'm going to be able to record this episode. Like, this is what's going on. And I was like, oh, damn, like, we'll figure it out. Like, don't even worry. Like, that's just what we do. Like, I remember a couple years, like, when we did the podcast originally, there were times where not everyone could be there. but for the most part, it was like always you and I there. Like it was the
Yeah.
consistency of just you and I being there. And I remember the one time we were all like freaked out because we always recorded on my computer and I was doing the editing, and like I couldn't be there, and you and OC, just the two of you, did the episode. And so it was like,
I honestly, I think I blacked out during that podcast.
yeah,
I don't know, like by some miracle, I just automatically knew how what every button did on the soundboard. I just like the ghost of Zach Phillips, just like it's like in Space Jam where they get like infiltrated by the aliens. I just like the secret stuff. Like I don't know, man. I was just on another planet.
because I remember I was doing something. Yeah, I was doing something that night, and I was like, boys, like I don't know what to do. Here's the board, like. These are the basics. You'll be able to do it. Like, I know you've got this. And I just like dropped it off and left. And then you're like, see ya.
I was a man possessed.
Yeah, you were. I remember I was like scared. Like I was honestly, I trusted you guys to be able to do it, but I was a little bit scared because I was like, I don't know how the audio is going to sound here. And I listened to it and I was so proud, I guess. Proud might be the right word. I was like, they did it. They pulled it off. Like,
the student becomes the teacher.
Yes.
You know, I think that yeah, dude, I'm just not a tech guy. Never have been, never will be. But I was mainly scared. I was mainly scared that I wouldn't plug it in, and just completely like recorded full like episode 1, like the very first episode we recorded of Lads and Lawnchairs, that we would just forget to plug it in and not have anything.
Yeah. But, well, you know what happened then in that episode, though, McGee? I would say that it's comparable to. How would you say, like the Jedi became the master? Is that like the right way to put it? Like the Jedi, like you became. I can't even like think of like how to put
the Jedi, the master, the young Padawan.
Yeah, you became
master.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to put it. The young Padawan became the Jedi master. And you know who has really honed in on their skills over the last couple of years, and they've really, really filled the shoes and taken on the persona of the Jedi and is truly living the Jedi way. I would have to say it's somebody that you've brought up numerous times on the pod. And we were so lucky to be able to get a hold of, get in touch with, and get this person to agree to come on the pod. So I think it's time we throw it to our first guest, our guest of the episode, and our first guest in almost a month. The man, the myth, the legend, Jedi Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to welcome to the pod today the most recognizable man in Waterloo. He can be found mesmerizing the public with his flawless lightsaber technique and has captured the hearts and minds of those fortunate enough to witness his incredible display of skill. We are privileged to welcome him to the pod today, Jedi Guy. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. We just did a little segment with Laurier for their orientation week, so we're doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, I heard about that on your previous podcast. I had to check them out before replying to you guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, glad you listened to us.
Yeah.
So for those who basically haven't had the opportunity to kind of see like what you do, how did you get your start? How was it that you decided to kind of go about becoming Jedi Guy in the first place?
I was in a difficult position in my life during the period of time that I started, and I needed a distraction from the frustrations that I was dealing with. So I went through some old photos, and I found a photo of myself dressed as Anakin Skywalker from Episode 1 in the pod racer outfit. And I remembered that I made a promise to myself back when I was 6 that I was going to be as close to a real-life Jedi Knight as I could be when I became an adult. So I spent the past couple of years refining the skills that I was trying to learn back when I was 6 all the way up to 14.
That's awesome. I know, like, I'm a big fan of the franchise, and I know that kind of the Jedi have really like, applicable teachings that you can kind of carry with you throughout your life. So I think that's awesome that you've managed to kind of keep that going and practice kind of the things that the franchise has taught you. Where do you like, how have you practiced? Are there YouTube videos that you kind of emulate, or do you train on your own? How does that process work?
I have some martial arts background that I've applied to the tricks that I've learned from watching the movies. When I was younger and first starting out on this, I'd go to a forest, pick up a stick, and practice the movements that I found in the movies until I nailed them. Once I became an adult on my own, I started looking up videos on the specific tricks that were done in the movies, and I practiced those, implementing some of the martial arts discipline. That was the wrong word. Implementing some of the martial arts techniques that I learned over the years into the tricks that I can perform.
So would it be something you'd be interested in like doing your own YouTube channel to show other people how to do these tricks and stuff? Or is it more of just you take them and then you want to go out on the street and perform them yourself?
I got no problem putting videos out there showing people how to do them, but I've found so many videos that do exactly that on YouTube. I didn't see the point up until a couple of months ago, and then the pandemic hit. And it's difficult to find the right kind of area that doesn't like attract a crowd and get in the way of the recording.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, needless to say that you're a huge fan of the franchise. We want to know what your favorite movie is within the franchise. Is there one that sticks out to you as being your personal favorite?
It's actually a tie between Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi.
And why is that?
Okay.
Why would those two be your favorites?
Return of the Jedi had more of an emotional redemption aspect to it that I found really endearing. The fact that somebody who can do such horrible things over the course of a decade, almost 2 decades, and he's done all these horrible things and he doesn't know what he wants, that he can find redemption and bring himself back to the light to save the people that he cares about, speaks to me in a way. And for Revenge of the Sith, the fact that somebody who was so kind-hearted to other people, you see it more in the deleted scenes from The Phantom Menace, but Anakin was a good person when he started. And he cared about other people, and the more power he got, the more arrogant he became, until the arrogance led to his mistakes. And after witnessing the death of his mother, this downward spiral, and then viewing his wife's death in a vision of the future, just fear plus arrogance with all these mistakes that could be made over the franchise. Sorry, I'm coming up with the wrong words here. Mistakes that he could make throughout his life to then be manipulated by somebody so intent on just controlling everything. I was a very easily manipulated person throughout high school, so I felt more connected with Anakin Skywalker than I did Luke, but now that I'm an adult, I try to adhere more to Luke's principles than Anakin. So that's why those two movies are high for me.
Fair enough. So why was it that you decided to call yourself Jedi Guy? Was that something you determined the name of, or was that given to you by other people?
Kind of a mix of them both.
Okay.
I started this, I didn't do this for attention. I was just doing this to kind of take my mind off the frustration and give myself a goal to move forward with.
Right.
And I try to implement as much of the Jedi lifestyle as I can into my everyday life. But the name itself, Jedi Guy, was one of a myriad of different things. People called me the Star Wars lad, lightsaber guy, lightsaber man, Star Wars man, Jedi Guy, Jedi lad, a bunch of different things. I've also been called Yoda, Mace Windu, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, just Jedi in general. And I went through all the lists of things after like a year and a half of people starting to really thank me for what I'm doing. I decided, okay, I need to pick a name, and Jedi Guy was the one that was the most frequently shouted out at me by people in their cars. So I decided to stick with that and just build off of that.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that honestly, it flows nicely off the tongue. I think it's a great name.
It's catchy.
For those people listening, strictly in the podcast and can't view us on the YouTube, you are wearing your Jedi robes. Are those something that you purchase, or do you hand make them?
Again, a kind of mix of them both. I didn't really like the idea of. Sorry, a little bit of a backstory. I these are not the first robes that I've worn. If for people that have been following me over the past 4 years, they probably remember the black robes that I wore, and that was Anakin Skywalker's outfit because I was trying to be more like him, until a friend told me that just makes me Kylo Ren, and that really frustrated me. So I tried to become me as a Jedi. Like if I was to be a Jedi in Star Wars, what would I look like? How would I behave? What color would my lightsaber be, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where the rabbit hole kicked in. But these robes were me trying to make a set of robes that are Jedi-esque, but personalized for me. So I went with the color palette of navy blue and brown to reflect the color palette from an outfit from one of my favorite video games. And I just went forward from there and customized it until I got the look that I pictured in my head.
So do you only wear this when you're going out on the street and, like, for example, now on the Zoom call, or do you wear this in your everyday life? Is it like a normal like outfit that you wear?
Yeah, this is a everyday wear for me. This is
okay.
Normal for me as jeans and a t-shirt is for other people.
So do you have multiple of these that you get up and, like, it's in your closet, you get up and pick one each day, or like how does that?
Well, this is it. I have to wash them at the end of every day.
Wow.
So wow. I'll take them into a tub of water and some laundry soap, and I'll hand wash the robe.
Wow. It's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. You mentioned your lightsaber there and how it was kind of what lightsaber that you wanted to reflect your own Jedi self. What color did you decide to go with, and kind of tell us about the creation behind that and the handle as well as the lightsaber itself.
The color I went with was originally blue, just because that was my favorite color of all the lightsabers in Star Wars. I felt that blue called to me a little bit more, but the color that reflects me the best, because I did research on what all the different colors mean, and purple reflects me the best. So I went out of my way to make a purple lightsaber, and I even went all the way back to my hometown of Thunder Bay, Ontario. There's a mine on the outskirts that has amethyst crystals.
Wow.
So I actually went out and hand-picked the crystal that's inside the lightsaber right now.
That's amazing.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that is amazing.
For those listening, you have to go back into our YouTube channel and see. You can't really appreciate that until you actually see it firsthand. That's actually a work of art.
Yeah, I got to ask about the lightsaber now. So how did you make it? You made it yourself, or did you go to somebody to make that for you, or like what was the process there?
Lots of trial and error.
Okay.
But yes, I did this myself. But I can't say that I made it 100% from scratch, because a bunch of the components were purchased from a bunch of other websites, but
Fair enough.
I pieced it together myself. This is not like a hilt that you can buy from a website. I had to apply the leather myself. Everything black you see here around the top area was an aluminum pipe that I had to hold steady with a Dremel and carve out a specific design.
That's amazing.
I had to wire everything myself. I had to put together the 3D printed crystal chamber with the chassis, the soundboard. I had to program it all. So,
man, if people don't watch our YouTube channel already, this is going to be the one that they need to go and check out, because they need to see this. That is seriously, that is a work of art right there. Jedi Guy. That is very impressive. Seriously.
I just realized I didn't actually answer the one of the other questions, like what went into the like how this lightsaber reflects me personally. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I didn't answer that earlier.
No, it's okay.
Every lightsaber that you see in Star Wars that has not been taken away from it, every lightsaber in Star Wars was created by somebody. It is my personal opinion that the creator of that lightsaber is the owner of that lightsaber, because they created it to reflect themselves. You can see it most, especially with Kylo Ren, and how it's kind of like an unstable black. There's a wire on the outside because it couldn't fit on the inside. It's just like messed up a bunch, and it's incredibly unstable and rabid like him. Anakin's lightsaber had thicker grip because of his robotic arm being a little bigger. Darth Vader's was meant to resemble Anakin's original lightsaber, just being a little bit more dark. Mace Windu covered his in electrum because he felt that he was more special than a lot of the other Jedi on the council. There's a bunch of different examples I can give, but for mine, I focused on what's practical. So the shroud, I wanted to resemble wolf ears a little bit. Wolves are the animal that calls to me the most spiritually. I got a recharge port on the middle so that I don't have to take it apart to plug it in and recharge the battery. Leather grip so that I can hold it a little more steady during combat, and I'm not sure what else to say about it. I just found the pieces that called to me for practicality in terms of actual dueling with a lightsaber, because I don't just put this on a shelf and I don't just do tricks with it. It's combat ready.
So have you ever been in combat with it?
Yes, actually, my YouTube video shows a couple of friendly sparring matches on our May the 4th celebration over the
Okay. Okay.
In terms of a real world fight, which is what I think you were referring to, I've been in a real world fight with it 3 times. They did not last long, and it's not like I kicked the crap out of him and he went home crying. It's more like a person tackled me to the ground and I hit him instinctually with the back end of the pommel, and by the way, it's solid aluminum. So
right. Okay.
It's not plastic.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm sorry to hear that you had to use it. That's kind of a frightening situation. Which kind of leads me to my next question. Like you're in public on King Street quite a bit, and my question to you is, what's something like what's the response? Would you say the general response is positive, and also what would you? I guess my question is for those who negatively react to what you do. What's something, because people don't know who you are. People don't know about you. What's one thing that you could tell the public about Jedi Guy?
All right. Now, my apologies. I'm going to have to take those questions one at a time. The first one was, what's the general reaction people give?
Yeah.
I would say it's 80% negative, 20% positive, but the 20% positive is really, really powerful. Like the 80% that's negative is usually just, oh, show me a trick, or go home, or put that away, turn it off, insults. And I've had people throw, they'll drive up behind me, slow down the car, and pour beer over my head and then drive off. I've had people throw a full McDonald's meal at me, like fries, burger, and a drink, and then speed off. I've had a bunch of negative situations that have happened, but the positives always outweigh the negatives. But in terms of a nightly venture, I'd say it's 80 to 20 ratio, but I prefer the 20 ratio.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's people are honestly assholes. Like that's just ridiculous. Yeah. But like, as you said, like you're practicing the Jedi ways, and then I can only assume that this has kind of helped make you who you are today, and like helped make you stronger. Like you must have a pretty thick skin, and that's all due to the fact that kind of you brush off these negative reactions and kind of continue doing what you love to do, and it's incredibly respectable.
I started doing this with the mentality of I don't care what people say, I don't care what people think, I'm not hurting anybody, I'm not attacking anybody, I'm not scaring anybody, and therefore what I'm doing should not affect them. After I started getting more positive reactions, I managed to take the headphones out of my ears because I started just listening to music and ignoring everybody. Because I knew the negativity was going to come. You can't do anything in life without somebody getting offended or somebody getting upset. So you might as well do what you love and say, screw everybody else's opinion. But now I've started to listen to the positive and the negative opinions and grow emotionally as much as I can from that. Learn from what people have said, positive or negative. For the positive ones, it's very encouraging and uplifting, and for the negative statements, it makes me stronger as a person to hear the negative statements. I used to say something to myself, I can't remember what it was, but it always made me feel better, even with the negative statements that were shouted on a nightly basis.
So I've never seen you out. I've never visited Laurier. I went to Western actually, and I just graduated. But Why I was just curious, like, why was it that you decided to do it out in public? I know, like, you explained why you got into it in the first place. And then you just mentioned that when you first started doing it, you were wearing headphones when you would go out to kind of like tune it out, I assume.
Yep.
Why was it that you wanted to go out in public and do it rather than, let's say, be in your backyard and be in private and like hone your skills, but you decided to go in public?
It was more of a freedom thing. When I do it out in the backyard, and first of all, when I started, the place I was living in didn't have one.
Okay.
But that's even if it did, I wouldn't have gone out in the backyard because I feel restricted in that sense. So I feel like being able to do it in public is more of a freeing feeling for me. I feel like so long as I'm not hurting anybody, threatening anybody, or anything of that sort, so long as I'm not breaking the law or any of my moral principles, I should be allowed to do it down King Street, University, Bridge, whatever. I don't know how to end that sentence.
Yeah, fair enough. So you do it for more of like the freedom aspect of it and being able to go out and express yourself and do your own thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Respect that.
Well, this is what other people say.
I back that.
Yeah, that's an awesome kind of mindset to have to approach things. I know we Zach and I just recently got off that call with Laurier, and we kind of preached the same thing about kind of the negativity we got starting the podcast, and maybe some naysayers out there telling us that it's stupid, don't do it, you're not going to go anywhere with it. But again, like if you love what you do, like what other people think is really not your problem. It's more so on them than it is on you. So I have some questions that are more related to kind of the movies.
Okay.
I wanted to know how you felt about the conclusion of the franchise in that final episode. Sorry, could you repeat that?
It could have been handled better.
So how would I agree? What are your thoughts on what should have been done?
They should have had a story laid out from the beginning. And I think they should have paid respect to the original trilogy characters instead of killing them off in every movie. Like the 7th movie, Han Solo dies. The 8th movie, Luke Skywalker dies. In the 9th movie, Carrie Fisher dies. Princess Leia dies. And it's a never-ending frustration of showing what I think they were trying to do. It's just like, okay, out with the old, in with the new. And I'm like, yeah, but the old is where the money's at. That's where all the fans are. We don't care about Rey, Kylo Ren, Poe, and Finn. You bring those new characters in, that's great, but don't disrespect the old characters. Don't make it like, okay, their story's done and over with, we're just going to put them in to bring the old fans back. I try my best not to focus. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, so I found that kind of them bringing Chancellor Palpatine like back into the mix was kind of a lazy way to conclude the franchise.
Yeah, I think that's the result of the handing of the torch way of how they handled the movies. It was J.J. Abrams, episode 7, and then he passed the torch on to Rian Johnson, and we all know how that worked out. And then he passes the torch on to another guy who got fired for creative differences, and then that torch was handed back to J.J. to conclude the thing. They didn't talk to each other. They didn't have one cohesive story. They didn't have one idea. It was all just, here's my idea, now it's your turn. All right, here's my idea, now it's your turn. And that never worked well.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely could have been handled better. But another question, kind of going back to episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, we mentioned kind of the progression of Anakin from light to dark side. If you could, here's a little challenge for you, I guess. If you had 5 minutes alone in a room with Anakin Skywalker, what would be your pitch to keep him from turning to the dark side? What would you say to him if you had 5 minutes alone in a room?
Probably the same advice that Qui-Gon Jinn would give to him. One often meets his destiny on the road to avoid it. If you try your best to try to prevent Padme's death, it's probably going to cause it. You need to learn to take a breath, accept things as they are, move forward. Stop worrying so much about being on the council, being a master and progressing through the ranks, and just focus on being the best version of you that you can possibly be. That, to me, is what makes a Jedi Knight as good of a Jedi Knight as they can be in terms of service to the light. Because the only time you try to prevent something from happening is when you're afraid of it happening, and fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, and suffering, it's exactly the route that he takes. So take a breath. Instead of worrying about the future, pay attention to the present. What do you have now? You have a wife who's pregnant with your child. He doesn't know it's children at the time, so you have a wonderful future ahead of you with one nightmare. Don't let the one nightmare destroy the future. Sometimes a dream is just a dream.
Yeah, that's incredibly powerful. Like movie alone, yeah, there's no denying that. But just in life as well, that's definitely applicable advice or an applicable mindset you can carry with you, or anybody, listeners can carry with them on a day-to-day basis. Don't let kind of the future affect your present, and just be the best version of yourself, like you said.
Definitely. Well, Jedi Guy, I think that's all the questions we wanted to ask you. Wanted to thank you for taking the time to come on and share a little bit about yourself and about your journey. I know that, like Ryan just said, there's definitely some things that you said here that were applicable to everyday life, and in terms of how you go about living, and like not caring what other people think, and going about doing what's right for you and doing what's best for you. And I think that that's something people can take with them from this interview. And man, we also learned like you're incredibly talented. Your ability to make the outfits that you wear, your hand washing your robes every single night, and your lightsaber is absolutely incredible. Like, seriously, I can't wait for people to see it because it's so impressive. Like, but
it's not even done yet.
Sorry, what was that?
It's not done yet. I've got a couple of things I got to add to it before it's actually finished.
Wow. I can't wait to see the final product then.
We'll definitely be in touch with you regarding the final product, because we'd love to keep up to date and find out what's going on lightsaber wise. But just to conclude here, Jedi Guy, if there's one thing that you would want people to know about the real you, if there's one thing you could say to the public that they may not get a chance to know normally, what would you tell them about yourself?
That I am not doing this for attention. I'm just trying to be the best kind of Jedi that I can be. That's basically it. I just want to be the best version of myself that I can be while following the path of a Jedi Knight. So
thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on and chatting with us, and it's been awesome.
It's been an absolute honor. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well.
Wow. What can I say? Like, Jedi Guy has been. See, I go to school in Waterloo, and I always see Jedi Guy like wandering the street, but I've never actually taken the time to speak with him. Yeah. And I'm so glad that I did. Like, just all the insight that he was able to give, just about how you can deal with negativity and ways you can channel negative energy into positivity.
Yeah.
Just amazing, insightful stuff. And just how it kind of just made me realize how the lessons in Star Wars are incredibly applicable to real life situations.
Yeah.
And how you can really carry those values and kind of change your life for the better. I think that's a super cool story. We were super excited and just honored to be able to chat with him and kind of find out a little bit about a man who's maybe not always the most understood.
Yeah. I agree. It was like we were able to learn so much just about how to handle situations in your life and how to have a different outlook and how to not care about what people think. And then on top of that, like, bonus for us, the amount of times that he showed his lightsaber and like the outfit he was wearing and stuff. Like, this is, if people aren't watching the YouTube already, this is going to be the episode that's got to get people onto our YouTube channel. Like, first of all, you can see the two of us just being absolute idiots on camera the entire time.
This is true.
We had OC join us, and you can see him looking like Jordan Spieth wearing his full like Under Armour golf attire. And then
fucking Robert Downey Jr. Goatee had going on, and
yeah, like looking a little grizzled. And then I'm wearing a Kent Nakamichi autographed Markham Waxers jersey, like still wearing it. Still, whole episode, I'm going to keep this thing on. Maybe I'll wear it on our trip this weekend. Like, who knows? We'll see. It might have to be a play. Yeah. And then, like, you can see all of these different things. You can see Jedi Guy. You see the lightsaber. You see the robes. You see the jersey. You see OC. What, like, why would you not want to watch the YouTube as well? There's so much going on. So
it definitely adds a whole new element that I think is just unparalleled with just the audio experience.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thanks to Jedi Guy for joining us. Special interview. So happy to be able to have him on. What a time that was.
And I'm really looking forward to following his socials. We're gonna post those out on our IG channel. And I want to know exactly when he's going out so I can meet him in person, 6 feet apart, obviously, social distancing, and
of course,
and say,
stay safe.
Thank you, man. Thank you for what you're doing.
Yes.
This is an inspiration, really.
Yes. So, McGee, I wanted to talk to you about this because I kind of wanted to get your opinion on it. When I heard this, and maybe it's not justified, and this is kind of why I wanted to ask you to like just let me know how much of maybe a shitty person I am. So you can be as honest as you'd like. But
okay, we'll see.
My sisters are both Division I athletes at Quinnipiac University. They play different sports, but they go to the same school. One is a soccer goalie, and one of them runs cross country, track. I guess cross country, track. But so most of their school. Well, first of all, they're going back this Friday because we're recording on the Wednesday. So by the time this comes out, they'll be gone. So they were talking about like all the stuff that goes on at their school and how things are going to be different because of the current situation. And then one of the things they were talking about is that at their school, the majority of the school is student athletes. So most of them are Division I athletes. Like a small percentage of the school actually doesn't play sports. The athletes are widely known as NARPs. And NARPs are NARP, non-athletic regular person. And the NARPs at their school are somewhat like, I don't know if this is the right way to put it because it's probably going to come across as like kind of mean and like high school bully-ish, but like they're almost like shunned a little bit. I know that my sister said like the NARPs aren't allowed to eat in the same area of the cafeterias.
Oh, come on, bro.
Stuff like that. So like, cause I'll talk to my sisters when they're away at school and they'll be like, yeah, like this NARP did this or this NARP did that. I'm like, yo, chill. Like I'm a NARP. What the hell? McGee's a NARP.
What's wrong with being NARP?
Yeah. Like relax. But anyways.
So no, hold on. Before you continue, I just got to interject and say the eating, like you're not allowed to eat in the same area as the student athletes if you're a NARP. Like what I'm imagining is the student athletes lining up for this like gourmet like Whole Foods buffet, and then the NARPs being like just like escorted to like the Burger King across the way, like just getting absolute shit food.
I just like think about like that scene in Mean Girls, and they're like, "You can't sit with us," or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the NARPs trying to sit with like the student athletes, and like, no, you can't sit with us.
Just a weird side eye glance.
Yeah,
just of disapproval and disgust.
Yeah, like honestly. So, anyways, my sisters are saying basically, how it works is they have all the athletes have these rings, and they put like. So the soccer team, for example, puts their practice and game jerseys and shorts and stuff on these rings. They put their socks on the rings, and then it's just like this plastic ring that holds everything on it. You take it over to the laundry room or wherever it's got to go, and you just leave it. And then when you come back, like the ring's hanging in your stall with all your stuff on it, all washed in your stall.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I just naturally assumed that the team had
managers or like
managers and stuff that washed the equipment. Little did I know that the NARPs get hired to wash the athletes' equipment. So it's like their job. So they make money from washing the athletes' equipment. So in my head, so when I heard this, I was like, I was like laughing so hard, like I couldn't breathe. Like I had like one tears like coming out of my eyes. Like, and the reason I found it so funny was all I could imagine is these athletes living these lavish lives, getting all these like clothes and stuff from the university, having these amazing meals, sitting in like the popular section, like sitting like lush leather seats and stuff, like at amazing dinner tables, and then the NARPs like eating off the floor, eating scraps, wearing like
there's two things. There's two things that I think about when I think about NARPs. Number one, I think for some reason the image of like ball boys at like tennis championships come to mind.
Yes.
They just stand by the wall and just wait patiently until it's their turn to do anything. And then number two is that scene from Austin Powers where he's in the laundry cart and Fat Bastard comes and throws his like little like sumo underwear at him. Like
yeah. So basically how I'm picturing it in my head is like the athletes are all like living in this rainbow world, it's all sunshines and golden and yes. And then the NARPs are like in this gray, dingy, sad, like cartoon world.
Rain cloud following them around everywhere.
Yeah. They're all like begging for food and stuff, like hand washing the clothes and crying in the back.
Oh no.
I was like laughing so hard.
Hey man, we're all NARPs at one point or another.
I guess so. I just thought
some sooner than others, but eventually it'll get us all.
Yeah, I just thought it was so funny. Like, wow. Well, like what a
who
what a
would be a NARP?
Who's that?
Rod Brendamore.
Yeah, you're right. You never would be, man.
I think he's the one person on planet Earth who will never be a NARP.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Actually, maybe that's like another master debaters we'll have to do. Like top 10 that could be people who will never be NARPs. Like The Rock.
The Rock, okay. Terry Crews.
John Cena.
No,
let's save it. Maybe we'll pull that. Pull that one out later. We can't blow them all now. But yeah,
I know. We gotta leave something for you guys because like we love surprises.
Yeah,
we got some surprises on the way. We have again, like we did early in May when we got this thing launched up again for phase 2 of our podcast journey. We had interviews banked. And then we had so many banked that we like it was literally we didn't need to record a single interview for the whole summer because we just already had them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we find ourselves currently. We're kind of getting back into that mindset of attack mode and getting after the interviews again. So hopefully we can bring you the content you guys want to hear.
Yes.
In terms of corporate deals, don't even get me started. There's none yet, but they're happening soon.
well, there's none yet.
There's none yet, but hey, we're in talks with some people, and we're excited, man. We got big things coming as always. We've literally said that since day one, but we're meaning it. I think we're following up. We're delivering.
Yes. Well, McGee, I think we're about at the end of the episode. We got to give out our lad of the week, and I know you said to me, you're like, "Hey, man, there's a guy I got to give it to."
There is a guy I got to give it to.
I know him really well. Great lad.
Yeah.
But I'll just let you take this one over. I'll let you introduce him and talk about who he is and why he's getting the lad of the week. So have at it,
cool.
buddy.
Will do. He might be here. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see if he can join us later. But the lad of the week this week goes to none other than my roommate and high school buddy, Reed McInnes. Cheers to Reed.
So why is Reader getting it? Do you got a reason, or is it just?
Well, he's getting it. Well, we have no Wi-Fi.
Right.
Reed's providing all the video games. He's doing his thing. He's just making the house just a better place to live, a better environment to live in. So
you need one of those guys like kicking around, just bringing it up for everybody, handling the situation, making everyone feel at home. That's perfect. Exactly. Like you guys are in an uncomfortable situation, no internet. Like what the hell do you do about that? Attaboy, Reader. Keeping it on lockdown, keeping the boys entertained.
I think he said no to coming on and doesn't want to show face on the pod, but he's coming. Coming.
Here we go.
No, I was nominated, but I'm thankful for the award.
Dude, honestly, you're very deserving, very deserving. He told me you're making all the boys feel comfortable and at home out there. So I couldn't see like a better person to give it to.
I appreciate that, Philly. I appreciate that. Doing my best to contribute. It's been a good ride so far, and it's only gonna get better from here. So
For sure. How much school you got left? Is this your last year?
this is my last year. Yeah, I'm one year and done. So I'm gonna live it up with these boys the best we can during this weird time, and you know what I mean. Enjoy the last rip that I can in university.
Yeah, for sure. That's the way to do it, man. Make the most of it. We already talked about we're gonna have a Lollapalooza at your place. So I'm sure you'll be a big part of that. Like people are gonna be so excited to meet Lad of the Week, Reed McInnes. So pretty pumped about that.
To show him why I won this award and why I was so deserving of winning this award. So when that day comes, when we see you here, you'll see why.
Exactly. Well, congratulations, Reed. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you, Philly.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you.
No worries.
Reed McInnes, ladies and gentlemen, Lad of the Week.
Yes. Legendary. Reader.
Well, I think that just about wraps up the app. For real this time. We got the interview with the one and only Reader.
Yeah.
And big things to come.
Yes.
And I guess the only way to find out what's to come is if you tune in. Same time, same place, same lawn chairs. Cheers, lads and lads.
Cheers.